What if Goku and Vegeta was locked in Whis' staff? Yeah, I know, I've been seeing tons of YouTubers doing this trend, so why not join in the fun? Now this is with my own twist on it, so enjoy the video. When Goku and Vegeta was training in Whis' staff, Beerus would go to Whis and tell him he isn't liking the rate Goku and Vegeta are rising in power. They're getting way too comfortable around the God of Destruction. Now, Beerus does not want to kick the bucket, and he would even ask Whis why he even offered them the God of Destruction role when Lord Beerus is done. Now, Beerus thinks they're getting way too comfortable and too cocky with their power, and he must do whatever it takes to secure the universe in balance. He tells Whis to take his staff back, and to also speed up the time that is going in that realm so they can die quicker. Now, what I mean by this, as a side note, is Goku compares this to the hyperbolic time chamber, basically to where one day out there, 12 hours, is equivalent to a year in there. So, I'm going to say that it's pretty much the same thing as that. So one day passing outside would be the equivalent of 1 year. Like each hour is like a month in there. So Whis speeds it up to that. So the staff would disappear, and Goku and Vegeta wouldn't really worry about it, and they see it disappear. They probably think that Whis needed it for a second, and obviously they think that Whis wouldn't just leave him there. So they continue training for a few days, and now they worry as they're starving, and they're wondering what happened. As Vegeta has a feeling they were set up, they think about what to do. Beerus would then fall asleep as he taking a much needed nap, as he thinks that everything's blown over and the problem is solved. Now, Whis feels this isn't right, so he talks to Goku and Vegeta, and he would be leaving a message for them explaining everything, saying that by Beerus' order, he cannot let them go, but he will secretly give them food and supplies and everything until Beerus blows this over. Now, and blows over and forgets about it. Now, Vegeta would be really angry as he got betrayed. I feel like Goku would say that, wow, this kind of sucks, but I think he'd be pretty excited because he wants, because he would tell Vegeta saying, I mean, what can we really do? Beerus is way too strong for us right now, so why don't we take this opportunity until Beerus forgets about it? We'll be perfectly fine in here, we can get super strong, and then we can really fight Beerus and make him impressed. Maybe he won't do this again. And so Vegeta would tell him to be training harder than ever before. So it has been a year in real time. Now, Whis would be keeping them younger and healing them with his staff. If Whis can bring someone back to life, I think he can alter the age as well. So this is 365 years that Goku and Vegeta was technically locked inside of that chamber. So they've been training for 365 years. Now, during this 1 year, Goku and Vegeta are fine. They are still kept in their prime age of around their mid-30s to their 40s. And mentally, they're doing okay, as Whis would check on them, but they're just like floating in their training non-stop because there's nothing else to do. So Whis would then tell Bulma as well as Chi-Chi about what happened to Goku and Vegeta. Now, of course, this is while Whis was visiting for the amazing Earth food while Beerus was asleep. She would be terrified for Goku and Vegeta, as Whis would assure her that he will find a way to fix it, as he's sure Beerus forgot already, and he would let it go by now. As another year has passed, it has been 2 years real time. Beerus would finally awaken from his nap, and he sees Whis' staff is shaking and cracking as it breaks. The portal opens as Goku and Vegeta walk out, feeling amazing. They're free. Now, their clothes are pretty much rags at this point. They don't even have top G's. They only have like rags of their clothes wrapped around to cover themselves. And they have larger beard. And they have like large beards because they didn't shave in there. Now, they were dirty, as Whis was faking being surprised. By the way, the staff breaking was actually Goku and Vegeta breaking the staff, but technically we should just make a new one, so it was kind of staged, so it's not like like they did that. So Beerus is utterly shocked seeing how they are alive, because remember, he locked them in there, so he demands Whis to tell him what happened. Whis says, I don't know, my lord, they somehow broke out. Now Whis smiles seeing that they're finally out. It has been 2 years outside, so let that sink in. 1 day outside is equal to 1 year. They have been training non-stop, pretty much in there, for 730 years, almost 1,000 years. Goku and Vegeta was feeling the ground, they were breathing in the air, because remember, they also had to deal with keeping their god key, keeping their ki inside of their bodies and constantly concentrating. But I think after a while they would just be like natural to them now. And remember, there's no ground, so they were just like floating in the air. So it felt really weird touching the ground and feeling the grass, hearing noises. You know, it was almost like they pretty much forgot what it felt like. But now Vegeta would walk right up to Beerus, and he would say how dare he lock them away like animals for almost 1,000 years, as he demands the reason. As Beerus would scoff, saying it doesn't matter, as what can they do anyway against him? It doesn't matter if they trained for 1,000,000 years, they could never surpass him. So Beerus threatened, saying that you either back off or I'm gonna Hakai you. Now Goku would just smile a little bit, and Vegeta would smirk, saying try it. Now as Beerus would aim his hand, purple aura would surround him, and he would say Hakai. Before he could even say it, his hand would be cut off. As he looks in shock and pain holding his wound, it was Vegeta. He cut his hand right off. As Goku states that he does forgive Beerus and will not hold anything against him, but they are, as of right now, Beerus is not even a challenge for them. But he does just want to know why. Why would you lock them away? We thought that they were friends. Now Beerus would explain his reasoning why, and I do feel like, Beerus would be very angry and that they got caught off guard like that. So Beerus is not even a challenge for them. Now Beerus would ask Whis to heal his hand. As he does so, he would turn into his full power, shaking the universe, as Goku wants this fight. Now Vegeta got what he wanted. Now he took apart from Beerus that Beerus took apart from them, their humanity almost. Beerus almost took their humanity. When you're trapped inside that time chamber in that staff for so long, there's just nothingness. The only people keeping each other sane was Goku and Vegeta from being mentally like animals. So that's the only reason why. And also too, Whis would also use the staff to show them Bulma and Chi-Chi, and they would talk to them in there. That is the only thing that was keeping them alive, and just like keeping them sane was seeing their wives and their children and Goku and Vegeta talking together. Now I also feel like Goku and Vegeta's relationship is obviously they're like best friends, and they're obviously a closer relationship, because he's your only friend locked in there for almost 1,000 years. So I do think that they're not as malice towards each other, and they're pretty much equal in power, so they pretty much have the highest respect for one another. So Beerus would use his full power, and Goku wants this fight. So their power, and this is just for the what if purposes, okay, and I am just gonna say it right out, they're stronger than angels. I have a feeling that they are stronger than angels, especially when they use their new forms that they have. Like their power is like something else, and I'm gonna explain it in a minute. So obviously Goku would then smile as he was excited to fight Beerus, as he wanted this chance for almost 1,000 years. Now Beerus has no chance. Now Goku's eyes would then just turn silver. Now he has Ultra Instinct, pretty much both of them have Ultra Instinct, and it's so natural that it's not even a form. Just the only thing that changes is their eyes turn silver. That's it. There's like no aura, no nothing. They have perfected Ultra Instinct at an angel's level. And by the way, this is just a fun what if that I'm just kind of throwing out there, because it's really hard, because I'm just adding my own twist on it, since I don't want to copy other people's. So I'm just saying how powerful they have become in almost 1,000 years of training, especially with the God Key. So Beerus would get one shot. It's not even a gamble. Goku would defeat him pretty much without much of an issue. So after that, they would shave and have a bath, and they would then go to Earth and be extremely happy to see their wives. They would even take a break from training. Yeah, they would even take a short break from training. That's very insane, like just to spend more time with their wives and their family for a little bit. But then they would obviously get back to training as usual. Now, Whis would even want to see their power. So Goku, by the way, by himself would fight Whis, and he would actually defeat Whis. Now, Goku would showcase his forms. He would obviously showcase his Super Saiyan form, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, which he has mastered completely. Super Saiyan 3 doesn't even drain his energy no more. Now, he would also showcase his Super Saiyan God. Then he would showcase his Super Saiyan Blue, which is obviously an instant turn-on form, so it's not even like a drain or nothing to them anymore. They're pretty much God beings now. There are above angels. Goku would showcase Ultra Instinct Omen, Mastered Ultra Instinct, and then he would showcase his Perfected Ultra Instinct. And then there's a form beyond that one that is the most terrifying one. Now, this is a fan form that I saw My Star Media do, which big love to him. And it is the Omni Super Saiyan form. And it has, you know, the white hair and the limit breaking things on them. And that's like their maximum form. They are, and I repeat, I wouldn't say they are as strong as the Grand Priest. I'm not going to say they're as strong as the Grand Priest because we do not know who his full power is, but they are stronger than all 12 angels. Pretty much by themselves, they could take on the 12 angels without much of an issue in that form. The Grand Priest, that one's up in the air. That's for you to decide in the comics. Do you think that from this what if scaling wise, do you think that Goku and Vegeta in their Omni Super Saiyan form at full power can defeat Grand Priest when he's at full power? I'm gonna say it's gonna be pretty much even, or maybe, remember, Goku and them have fusion. Now, remember how the Omni form works is that they have limiters. So if they do fusion, the limiters are broken. They are as powerful as the Omni King. They are omnipotent. So pretty much Goku and Vegeta are really, and they're also stronger than the Omni King's guards, obviously. So Goku and Vegeta are pretty much is the second or the third strongest being in all of Dragon Ball. End of story. They're either a little bit stronger than the Grand Priest, or you could put them in number 1 in reality if they do fusion, or number 2 since their fusion has a time limit. So that's up to you guys. In the future Trunks was running for his life as he was barely alive, as a man in black clothes smirked. Now, he was of course toying with them, as Trunks was able to escape just in time and he was able to go to the past. He finds Goku and Vegeta, and the same events happen as he explains about a man just like Goku, and his power is unmatched. Not even in Super Saiyan 2 he couldn't do anything. Goku and Vegeta was surprised, of course, as Goku would even spar with Trunks, and he would go Super Saiyan 2. Goku was very impressed to see Trunks' power. This guy must be pretty strong if Trunks can't even touch him. But Goku was pretty impressed that Trunks was able to get so strong on his own. Goku would show him a tip of the universe of his power in base form. He would power up a tiny bit and it would shake the entire universe as he blocks Trunks' sword at full power with just his finger, and he would flick him away and knocking him down. Trunks was amazed by how strong Goku has gotten. He can most definitely take on this Goku Black guy. He could wipe the floor with him. So everybody was happy to see Trunks, and obviously Vegeta would ask, Trunks would ask how Vegeta and Goku got so strong. They were going to explain it, but then the time portal would open and Goku Black would appear, and he would be so happy to seeing Goku and everybody else. He's really happy that he found Trunks because Trunks got away and he wasn't finished with him yet. So Goku would of course do the same thing, and they would pretty much begin fighting. Now, Goku would not use Super Saiyan 2 as he was confident that he could take on this Goku Black guy. Trunks said that he could, but he was pretty surprised how Goku Black was easily able to keep up with him. So he started using more, and he used his full power in base form. Goku Black could keep up. He even used Super Saiyan 2 at full power, and Goku Black was able to keep up. Now, Goku's a bit worried because if this guy is him or it's somebody copying him, he might be as strong as Goku, as Vegeta can sense the same thing too. That's really bad. And Beerus would be very terrified as well to see that this guy's able to keep up with Goku right now, because Goku can take on Beerus without even trying. So this is a bit of a problem. Before they could heat things up though, the time portal would open back up and it would pull Goku Black into the future. So all the events will pretty much happen with Goku and Beerus and Zamasu. All that happens until they go into the future timeline to help Trunks. This will be the only time that they go in there. Goku Black would fight Vegeta first, and remember Vegeta wants to fight him because since Goku fought him, so Vegeta wants seconds, right? Now remember, this Vegeta is not only as strong as Goku is, which they can rival the Grand Priest at their full power. He knows Goku is his exact fighting style. He knows everything about Goku, but Goku knows everything about Vegeta. Because if you're fighting for 730 plus years, you would pretty much know every single thing about one another, and you would pretty much know exactly how they fight, because that's all they did nonstop. Was either meditate, fight, that's it, or mainly eat. But that's, other than that, that is all they did nonstop for 730 years. So, but obviously though, Goku Black does have Zamasu's Kai fighting style as well incorporated in it, but that wouldn't really change nothing. Vegeta knows Goku so well now that he can pretty much block each and every attack that Zamasu throws at him. So it's pretty crazy. So Goku Black was having a, now I would say that Goku Black was keeping up with Vegeta the same way, but then Goku Black would start having a bit of a hard time once Vegeta showed Super Saiyan Blue. Now remember, Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue can rival angels, okay? He can definitely take on an angel and probably beat one in Super Saiyan Blue. Now maybe not all of them. He can't fight more than one angel, but I would say Super Saiyan Blue, he can take on like Whis and defeat him in Super Saiyan Blue. Remember, he's more powerful than that, but he wouldn't be able to take on like 2v1 or all the angels at him in this form at full power. So Goku Black was happy that he took this body after Goku trained. Now yes, Goku Black took Goku's body after he trained for 730 years. This is why he is so powerful, as the what if would have been boring if Goku Black just took the body before Goku and them trained. Goku Black would have been one shot by Goku when they first started fighting in the very beginning, and Trunks should have gone back, no issue. So I wanted to make Goku Black a legitimate villain, and also Zamasu. Now Zamasu is still the same power, but he's immortal, so no matter how much you beat him up, he's just going to keep on coming at you, but we'll get to that shortly. So he would also need to adapt to this unrivaled power, as remember, Goku Black would smirk and Zamasu would appear. He would tell the story of their plan and what he did to Goten and Chi-Chi. Now this would make Goku snap, hearing what Goku Black did. Not to mention it would piss Vegeta off because he stole Goku's body and is abusing it, right? That's like hurting his pride as a Saiyan. But Goku's the most mad. Vegeta stays out of his way because he just said that he killed Goku and Chi-Chi after he switched bodies with him. He would snap and he would shake the 12 universes. As his hair would grow and his shirt was gone, he was in his Omni form, his Omni Super Saiyan form. Goku Black wanted to see this power all along, as he wanted to have this power too. Being pushed to his limit, Goku Black transformed into the form as well. Yes, he has this power. Not to the level that Goku has, but they're pretty much even now in power. So this is very dangerous. Now, Zamasu was immortal, but Vegeta can just easily smack him away each time. I mean, Zamasu's not even a threat right now. Now, Goku and Goku Black was equal pretty much in terms of power, but Goku Black was in trouble once Vegeta joined in to help him, showing his special Omni form. As remember, Vegeta is a true royal bloodline, hence the Omni form was a little bit different looking than Goku, as he had like the lines going down his eyes, and he automatically, when he got the form, he has one less limiter and his eyes are bloodshot and he has the glowing eyes. So Vegeta is the form is more royal like for Vegeta because it fits in the Saiyan bloodline, because it is a Super Saiyan form and it fits Vegeta. So that's the reason why Vegeta is actually technically a little bit stronger than Goku, but they're like so high in power now that it's pretty even as well. So it's, you all can say what you want in the comments between power scaling, but I will say that Vegeta is stronger than Goku. Vegeta in his Omni form is stronger than Goku. Vegeta only is at his maximum power because there is the 3 limiters that you get. Now Goku has 2 limiters and Vegeta only has 1. They physically can, and it's impossible to break. A mortal cannot break the final limiter. They have to do a fusion to break it. Once when they break that limiter though, they will become as strong as Zeno. So that's the reason why. But anyway, right back to the battle. Vegeta was in his true royal form, and it's not even a joke. I mean, Vegeta and Goku would easily dominate Goku Black, and Vegeta took the fight over, as he would give the same kind of like, you stole this body and you're worthless, right? But Goku Black was able to hit them away. As he looks at Zamasu, who nods, they use the earrings. Now this is where a major problem happens. This fusion, it broke the limiter for Goku Black's Omni form. Remember, Goku Black only had one limiter left, and the fusion breaks it, as now they had become Omni Zamasu, or you can do Omni King Zamasu, Omni King Zamasu, whatever y'all want to call the form. Let me know down below which y'all will call the form between the fusion between a Omni Super Saiyan Goku Black and Zamasu merged together. What would you call it? I'm gonna call it Omni Zamasu, or Omni Merge Zamasu. It's a weird name. As he was relishing in the infinite power, he was as strong as Zeno was. As he was holding his arms up, he can clean the entire universes with a thought. Now, Goku and Vegeta look at each other and they know what to do. Goku offers fusion, as Vegeta would scoff, but not having a choice anyway. Now remember, Vegeta doesn't care as much, as he's more he respects Goku way more. So Vegeta is not as embarrassed, or he's not as like, I never wanted to fuse with you. So that's why Vegeta's like, all right, like, we don't have a choice, let's do it. So they know that it's a time limit, and they don't know what's gonna happen, if the fusion would just die off within a couple seconds, or is it gonna last long enough. They know not to mess around. So they do the fusion dance, and Supreme Kai and the universe Tai bows to them as a new being was born. Another Omni King level being was born with infinite power. So this is Omni-Gogeta, and this is where things are going to get pretty crazy. Now, power scaling wise, Omni-Gogeta is far stronger than Omni Zamasu. Here's the reason why. Obviously though, power scaling wise, their power level is infinite, and infinite versus infinite, but there is also power scaling too. So I'm gonna just throw out there that even though power is infinite though, Merge Zamasu or Omni Zamasu is not as strong, because also the limiter, you know, it's really a confusing process. Gogeta is stronger than Omni Zamasu by far. Remember, Zamasu is not even an Omni level being, so they're having two Omni Super Saiyans fused together, while they're only having one, and then one was obviously far weaker. He was just a regular Kai. So we're just gonna have that. All right, so people can attack me in the comments, that's perfectly fine. So Omni-Gogeta was born, and they would say this power is pretty cool. So now, by the way, before this fight, I want to throw out here, and this is a part that I'm going to add in before Omni-Gogeta. I know I teased y'all with talking about him a couple seconds ago, but now I'm going to back up a little bit. Now, before they can do the fusion though. Now, by the way, while Omni Zamasu was in his own mind, relishing the power, so happy, right? Now, what needs to happen is Goku needs to shatter his limiter, and he needs to have, you know, the one limiter. Him and Vegeta have to be exactly equal, because if they fuse, Omni-Gogeta won't be, you know, Omni King level. He'll still have a limiter. You need to both have one limiter to be able to break a fusion, and to be able to break the limiter and have a Omni level being. So Goku would then try to power up as hard as he can in Omni form. It wouldn't work. Vegeta tells him he has to go inside of himself, deep inside of himself, and find something to break the limiter. So Goku would then open his eyes, and he was in a fully dark area, as he would then see his father Bardock, as he would appear smirking. As he put his hand on his shoulder, he told Goku to always remember his pride as a Saiyan, and to never, ever see what a Saiyan's limits are. Saiyans have no limits. And Bardock would turn Omni Super Saiyan as well, and as he would fuse into Goku, his limiter finally breaks, as his power level was higher than even Vegeta's now, shocking him. But Goku would lower it, but they're pretty much the same. Goku's just a little bit stronger now, but now Goku would lower his power level a little bit, so they're exactly equal. they would do the fusion dance as they become a omnipotent being alongside Omni King. As they begin their battle, Omni Zamasu is having a major issue. He begins turning purple and larger. The fusion isn't complete. It's corrupted. It's falling apart. It's failing. Omni-Gogeta would smirk and tell him, saying that that's because one of you is not truly a Omni-level being. You're not pure. So he would charge a Omni Kamehameha or Kamehameha, hitting them full force. As the earrings split them apart, Goku Black and Zamasu would be completely eradicated. Now, Zeno would appear as seeing, now remember, Zeno would appear as he's seeing these powers appear that's just as strong as him. He'd be pretty mad about that, like, hey, who's trying to mess with my power? Now, obviously, they would defuse at this point, and Goku would point up in the air saying, that guy's trying to do it right there. That guy's really mean, you gotta knock him out, right? And of course, Zeno would obviously say, yeah, I don't like him. So they would jump on the time machine and go back, and all would be better. But now Goku would still go back and get Zeno to bring him to present Zeno. So future Zeno and present Zeno know each other. So remember, because he still knows Zeno and they're still friends and all that kind of stuff. So he promised to get him a friend to play with him. So all that happens the same. So yes, there are the two Zenos. So now now a lot of you guys might have noticed that we skipped over Universe 6. Now, Universe 6 arc would have still happened, but Goku's all that's needed. Or even Vegeta's all that's needed. They're way too strong. Beerus would win, and he would wish Champa his new planet. So, all that would happen. Hit would have no chance. I mean, even if he tried his time skip, they're so powerful and so fast that it wouldn't even affect nothing. You know, like they are way too powerful for Hit. They would knock Hit out in one blow. It wouldn't even be a challenge. I mean, it would actually be pretty boring. And when Champa was probably like threatening them, Goku would probably threaten Champa saying, hey, yo, you gotta chill out. But then obviously Zeno would appear, and then that's how they meet him. So Champa would lose, but Beerus would still win and wish Champa his new planet. So anyways, the threat of Goku Black is now over. Now Goku would still see Zenos and be friends with them. All that would still happen. Now, the Grand Priest would notice his oddly high power, as he knows him and Vegeta are the strongest mortals, so he keeps that in mind. Now, Goku still offers the Tournament of Power, so later on, that arc still happens. Now, Beerus is fully happy and confident, you know, talking trash, because Goku and Vegeta are the strongest mortals in all the 12 universes. They're so strong that they're way powerful than him, they're stronger than all the angels. He isn't worried about it. Now, they would get Frieza, as well as, remember, Majin Buu fell asleep, so they would still get Frieza. And they would be worried about Frieza because he might double cross him, but Goku said, what can he really do against us? Frieza's just a backup if anything happens, you know? Because remember, they don't know how strong these other guys might be. Now, Whis does mention there is a mortal that is stronger than the gods of destruction. That would actually pique Goku and Vegeta's interest. Now, they want to fight that guy. That guy might be actually a real challenge for him, and actually might be fun. So anyway, now by the way, Goku would fight Toppo in the early matches before the Tournament of Power, the exhibition match. He would, in base form, easily toss around Toppo. Now, just to show off, he would just show off Super Saiyan, just to show off. And he would show Super Saiyan at full power. It would shock everyone, as Beerus would be talking all the big game, saying this is just his first form, not even his god forms or nothing. He knows a lot more than you think it is. Now, the Tournament of Power happens. Goku and Vegeta was the main threat. Most of them were going after them, but they stood no chance. They were getting one shot left and right. Now, Vegeta was busy fighting Toppo. Now, Toppo would go into his God of Destruction form. This would actually pique Vegeta's interest. Now, Vegeta and Goku, they never practiced God of Destruction Ki, but I do think that they do want to learn it. So Vegeta's going to save that idea with him and Goku. You know, him and Goku are closer friends. They don't have that like deep rival for each other. They absolutely be better than one another because they're Saiyans, but they have so much respect for one another that they're fine if one of them's stronger. So Vegeta keeps his God of Destruction Ki in check, and he wants to train that for himself. Same with Goku. So they'll worry about that later on. So anyway, He would fight Toppo in his God of Destruction form. Toppo doesn't even have a chance. Vegeta just wants to experience the power. You know, like, Vegeta just wants to see what this power tastes like. You know, like, what is his power? Toppo would hit Vegeta with his full power Hakai attack, not even caring if it kills him or not because he's so strong. Belmont commands him to. So Vegeta, and this is the craziest thing, remember, they've been trapped in there for so many years. I think that Vegeta would learn some cool techniques while he's in there. Vegeta takes the Hakai ball and he absorbs the Hakai energy. Yes, his hair would turn purple and he would actually be able to control God of Destruction energy. I know that sounds outlandish, but it's very plausible. I think that Vegeta can do it. He wants to experience what the power feels like. Now, Vegeta gives Toppo credit. This is pretty difficult to control, but Vegeta really likes his power, so he's just gonna keep it for himself. As Vegeta would then hand the Hakai ball right back to Toppo, his own Hakai ball, and it would destroy Toppo. As the purple aura would disappear from Vegeta, but now Vegeta has a taste of this power and he knows what it feels like now. He kept some of it for himself. So he's gonna keep this and he'll tell Goku about it, but I think Vegeta's gonna keep it for himself and train with it for something else later on. But now, by the way, Jiren here would know about Goku, and Belmont would tell him that, hey, you gotta take care of Goku. Now, Belmont has known about the Mortal's power-up from the help of GodTube. Yes, that is a real thing, look it up. He has been training Jiren because of this, to do whatever it takes to win the Tournament of Power. Now, they use the staff themselves to train Jiren. Now, this Jiren is beyond stronger than the original. They begin their fight. Goku used Super Saiyan Blue. As they seem pretty even in power, Jiren would showcase his full power, aka his limit-breaking form. Goku would then use a form that he learned called Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Yes, Vegeta learned that form first, and then Goku copied him as it's a really cool form, and it's a really good boost from Super Saiyan without draining your stamina. It's like a perfect Super Saiyan form, or Super Saiyan Blue form, so he likes it. So Goku wanted to learn it as well, and it also beats his trick with Kaioken that he practiced. Now, he would overpower Jiren, as Goku would then use his full power in that form. Now, Goku was having fun. I mean, it's been a while since he had a real fight other than that Goku Black guy. Jiren would then catch his punch and smirk as he turned Mastered Ultra Instinct, his pupils glowing white as the aura surrounds him. This was his apex power that he has, and he was shaking the void. This was not the most scariest part. Jiren also showed the purple energy of Hakai, and he absorbed it. This Jiren can activate Hakai energy and Ultra Instinct. He trained with Margarita and Belmont to make the most apex power that they can have. This Jiren is extremely, extremely strong. Now, the aura, even his power, would shock all the angels and everybody. This was his apex power. This was his maximum. And he tells Goku that he's as strong as he thinks, and he's truly glad to fight a warrior as Goku, and he has earned his highest respects. Now, he has surpassed the gods of destruction already, and he has surpassed the angels. Now, he would beat down on Goku, who was struggling. Vegeta would be standing there, arms crossed. He wouldn't be too worried about it. He would say, Kakarot's always fooling around. Now, Goku was on the ground. He would be amazed that Jiren is all this strong by himself. As Jiren would throw a punch, Goku would catch it himself, smirking as he would showcase his Ultra Instinct as well, and then his hair would turn white. Goku has mastered Ultra Instinct as well, as it would shock the gods other than Beerus and Whis, and even the Grand Priest, that he can use this power of the angels. Goku looks at his hand, saying to Jiren, I thought that this power was the apex for me. I thought that this was the strongest that I could be when I was in that time chamber. I've adapted this power so much that me and Vegeta, this form's like base form to us, so I don't really use it since it's automatically our power. But it is a good power up though. But he said, I thought that this was our limits, but the more years that we were in there, the more we kept powering up and fighting, we always kept breaking our limits. And this is where we unlocked a form is nothing to this power. Now, Goku would say that Jiren has earned this power, and that Jiren is strong enough to where Goku can truly go all out. Jiren would be excited to see this. Goku would then scream as he would then turn into his Omni Super Saiyan form. Now, Jiren would throw a punch and it would do nothing to Goku, as Goku would smack him away. Now remember, the Grand Priest was gasped and he was sweating seeing this power. This power matched his, so this is not good. Whis was obviously just smiling as he was so proud of Goku, and Beerus was obviously smirking, talking mega trash. I mean, Beerus says, "All right, guys, it's wraps. All right, guys, it's over, right? Do y'all understand that? It's over, right?" And Champa was really shocked as well. Every god obstruction was absolutely shaken, and all the angels was shaken seeing that mortal having that much power. Goku right now can take on all the 12 angels with pretty much not much of a major issue. Now the Grand Priest, though, that would actually be a pretty good fight. Goku would have to really push all the buttons to really go for the Grand Priest. I do think that he could do it. I do think they could really take on the Grand Priest when Vegeta joins in too. The Grand Priest would probably lose if Goku and Vegeta teamed on him, but by themselves, I think Goku's almost even with the Grand Priest. Zeno, obviously Zeno's not a fighter, but even if he was, like, he has an ultimate form, they would need Omni-Gogeta or Omni-Vegeta to even touch him. But that's a whole different story. You know, they're not worried about that right now. Now Jiren would use his full power of his, I guess you can just call it Hakai instinct, or you can call it Ultra Hakai, whatever y'all want to call the form. It's a mix between Mastered Ultra Instinct or Ultra Instinct and Hakai, or the God of Destruction Hakai. It's not Ultra Ego, because that's a different form. That's a form specifically made for Vegeta, but it is Hakai energy. So he mastered God of Destruction Hakai. So Zeno was amazed seeing Goku's power was able to rival his own Grand Priest. That's really cool. Zeno was obviously super excited, super hyped seeing all this. Now, Jiren would throw a punch again, and it wouldn't even do anything to Goku. Goku would hold his fist out, thanking Jiren for this amazing fight, as he used the force of his ki, and it would push Jiren completely off the ring. Now, Goku thanks him. Goku would stay in the form, and he would use the power to clear out the entire tournament of power. Now, Kefla was actually fighting Ultimate Gohan. As remember, ever since Gohan heard about what happened, he's actually been keeping his training up. Same with Piccolo. So Gohan is actually able to beat Kefla. Yes, Ultimate Gohan defeated Kefla. I don't understand the power scaling they did for Kefla, but Gohan was able to beat Kefla. Now, it's pretty much a wrap for them all. Vegeta would also handle it as well. He would go around knocking everybody out. Frieza was doing his own thing. He was knocking out the rest of Universe 11, aka with Dispo and all that, knocking them all out. Now Frieza's a big help too, you know. Him and Android 17 have been working together alongside Gohan as well. But Goku was so proud of his son to defeat Kefla, as Kefla was actually really strong. None of them have a chance no matter what. Now, Kaba, everybody hit, no chance. Nobody, not you name it, they're knocked out. Now, Universe 7 would then win the Tournament of Power, and Goku would get the wish, and he would wish for all the universes to be brought back, which it does, and all would be at peace again. Now, obviously, Zeno would come down, and Goku would obviously hold him in the air, saying, here you go, you know, as they were so amazed to see how strong Goku was. Now, Frieza wants to go back to hell, as, you know, he doesn't want to see all this celebration stuff. Now, Whis would obviously bring him back to life, and Frieza would say, you know that I'm not going to change my evil ways. Obviously, Goku and Vegeta say, you know, if you ever do evil again, we'll just stop you again. And Vegeta says, we will see, as I'm going to train extra hard and unlock a new power. As Goku says, go for it, show me how strong you can get, Frieza. So that's a really cool little rival, you know, old nemesis thing that they're going on here. Frieza would go away, and the Grand Priest would thank them all for fighting and all stuff like that, and they would all go back. Now, Goku was actually really excited to see how strong everyone is, and he wants to start going around the other universes and fighting them again in the future. Now, Goku in his Omni form, he actually can travel to other universes. He can do that, and he talked to Whis about it, and Whis said, I mean, if you're not breaking any laws or destroying everything, I mean, you could if you want. So Goku's definitely going to keep that in mind. Vegeta's definitely going to keep it in mind to go to Universe 6 very soon and help train Kaba and them. And Vegeta wants to meet the King of Sadala and all that. Goku definitely wants to go to Universe 11 again, and he definitely wants to fight Jiren again. Absolutely. As everybody was brought back, Jiren would smirk, saying that I'm going to go back with Belmont and Margarita, and I'm going to train and get stronger so we can have a real rematch. So stay tuned for that. So there was a problem now. The Grand Priest was walking as he has a problem. He would talk to all of the 12 angels and daughters, his sons and daughters, about the issue that no mortal, aka Goku, and they didn't technically see Vegeta turn into that form. They only saw Goku. So I'm gonna just say that, you know, they don't. They think that Vegeta's really strong. Maybe he's like God of Destruction, but they don't know that. They only saw Goku. All the angels and Grand Priests only saw Goku's full powers. So they don't know about Vegeta. They know about Goku though. So the Grand Priest would say that no mortal should be that powerful, and they should do something about it. Lock him away or handle it or something like that. All the angels agree other than Whis. Whis would actually defend them, and this was in front of Zeno and everybody else. Now Zeno doesn't have a problem with Goku, but obviously Zeno knows that. Obviously Zeno has trust in the Grand Priest and say, yeah, it's whatever you want to do, you know, this Goku guy's strong, he's our friend, but you know, because Zeno's kind of childish, you know, that's how they have his character. Now obviously Zeno doesn't see him as an issue because Zeno never really saw Omni-Gogeta. He sensed it though. He sensed two beings that had the same level of power that he did, but remember when future Zeno got back, they only saw Goku and Vegeta in base form, so he didn't actually see that. Now he thinks that Goku's really strong and it's really cool, you know, because Zeno's an infinite level being. Grand Priest doesn't like that. He does not like how somebody can overthrow the balance of all the universes, blah blah blah, and all the angels hate it, everything like that. But Whis would defend in front of everybody. He would defend Goku, saying Goku, even though his power easily defeats mine, he hasn't done anything, nor would he. He's pure of heart, and he just wants to fight strong people. That's all he wants to do. And they're not a threat, and they earn the power themselves. And they just want to be left alone, and you know, there's no evil. They're not going to bother them. Now the Grand Priest would not be happy, and he would say, this is your fault. This is you and Beerus's fault, especially Whis, because it is his staff, and he could have technically seen that, like, maybe he shouldn't have done what Beerus said, but I would say that most of the blame would go on to Whis. I wouldn't say Beerus, but I would say mostly to Whis. But yeah, Beerus is also in trouble. As remember, Beerus was then brought there as well, and the Grand Priest would tell both of them, saying, I'm going to lock you both away, and lock you away for defying his power. And then he also said, Grand Minister, aka Zeno, can we get rid of Universe 7? The not Grand Priest, Zeno would say no, saying that I do not want to destroy Universe 7, as remember Goku and them are in there, you know, and Goku's not destroying anything. So the Grand Priest would say, may I have permission to go in there and do it myself? And if they're strong enough to beat me, you can watch and enjoy the fight, right? The Grand Priest isn't stupid. He's really smart, and he knows that if he just lies to Zeno saying that I want to have a big fight for you guys to enjoy, Zeno would obviously be really happy and say, yeah, do that, that'll be fun, you have permission. So all the angels and everybody, all the gods of destruction, other than Beerus and Whis, they would be sent to Universe 7, yeah, to fight Goku and the Grand Priest himself. So an amazing battle is going to be taking place very, very soon. Our story last ended with the Grand Priest trapping Whis and Beerus and sending all the angels and gods of destruction Goku's way to fight him, as the earth seems to change. Now Goku was doing his normal meditating as Chi-Chi was cooking food. The sky would turn a darker shade as Goku would get up, and he would then see all the gods of destruction and the angels appear, other than Whis and Beerus. And then the Grand Priest would show himself as Goku was confused, asking what's happening. The Grand Priest nods as all the gods of destruction go full power, saying that they have came to end Goku. As Zeno was watching from above, excited to see this amazing match, Goku would smirk as he thinks that this might be a test or maybe they're after him or something, but he would move the fight somewhere else away from Chi-Chi and them, and he doesn't want to fight on Earth, but not like he really has a choice. You can't just ask Zeno to change. So he didn't want Earth to be destroyed, but he didn't have a choice, so that's already been said. So they get the Dragon Balls. You know, if anything happens, they can just use that to repair anything that happens. So Vegeta would arrive as he would cross his arms and just watch from afar. As he didn't know what was happening, Goku's aura glowed as he turned Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Gods of Destruction had a little chance against him. Even all of them teamed up, Goku was far too powerful for them. He would easily defeat them all without really much of a threat, but he would not kill any of them. Now the Grand Priest would then frown and tell his children to go attack. As all the angels would charge in, this was a little bit more challenging, as Goku would use Mastered Ultra Instinct, and this is when Vegeta would step in. Now, Goku had already defeated a handful of the angels, as Goku can take on all the angels by himself. It's just a bit more difficult since there's 12 of them, and they're a lot stronger than God of Destruction. But Vegeta says that he'll help Goku out, as he would come in and he would show a power that he got while training, as he wanted to learn both a god and an angel. He would then use Hakai power mixed with MUI. So it's pretty much like Ultra Vegeta, or you can call it whatever you want, but it's like his whatever you want to call the form. But it's not Ultra Ego, it's God of Destruction energy and Angel energy mixing into one. This is not stronger than his Omni form, not even close, but it is far stronger than Master Ultra Instinct. So that's it's the second strongest form pretty much. So he would fight the angels himself, or what's left of them, as only a few remained, as remember Goku would go into his Omni form and he would use his full power out the bat. As he knows the Grand Priest was stated to be the #1 fighter in the entire universes. Goku would charge in and he would punch the Grand Priest, shocking him by the power as he drew blood. The Grand Priest was able to be surprised by it, and he was shocked how Goku was this powerful, as he used his full might only one time, and that was against Zamasu. Other than that, he never used his full power in this form. But obviously he's going to use it against the Grand Priest. So the Grand Priest then uses his full energy as well, and the two would clash back and forth, shaking the entire multiverses. As Goku was on the losing end, the Grand Priest had way more experience than Goku. They were even in power, but experience and skill goes a long way. The Grand Priest is billions upon billions and billions and billions of years old. Goku's only almost around 1,000 years old, so you can see where the experience kind of builds on. So Goku has an ultimate trump card that he's never used before. He's only used it in the Whis' staff before, and that is it. He's never used it anywhere else, as he doesn't see a need to since he's so powerful. But he doesn't know what it's going to do, but he's truly happy someone is so strong, as he would then stream a red aura surrounds him and he uses Kaioken, adding more and more on top of the Omni form, as he would use Kaioken times 20 Omni form. As he would fly in, punching the Grand Priest so hard, the entire time in reality shatters as they go through the shattered portals, landing each blow, and each blow actually changes to different timelines and realities. As one of them showed a Kid Goku who turned into a Super Saiyan as he defeated King Piccolo, look up and see the two just for a brief second punch each other, and then they would disappear. And then they even showed Vegeta being the king of the universe and all the Saiyans in Super Saiyan 4. And then another kick would then send it away. And then after going through so many different timelines, thousands of them, the Grand Priest would then punch Goku back to their reality. As the Grand Priest was on the losing end, okay, he didn't have much of a chance. He had no choice, as he would showcase his true power. Now Goku pretty much spent all of his stamina using that Kaioken ability, as it still almost killed him. Luckily though, Vegeta has a Sensu Bean, so he'll help him out. So the Grand Priest will then showcase his true ultimate power. He has never used this, he's only used this when Zeno created him. And then Now this is how he gets his power. Now when he created his children, he gave a piece of his power to them, so that's how they're so powerful, and also teaching them. So he is not complete, as all of them hand their power to him. Same with God of Destruction, and just to help him out, he would grow in size, and he was at his max power, pretty much his battle mode, as he overpowered Goku with ease, slapping him around. But Goku was tired anyway. There wasn't much that he could do. Now, I would feel like the Grand Priest is as strong as Goku in his Kaioken times 20 probably, but I think that in this state, he could probably take on Goku and Vegeta, and them working together, and he could probably be able to take him down. Maybe, though. This just depends. If they're at full power, then that'll be a problem. So Vegeta would then kick the Grand Priest away in his Omni form. He would hand Goku a Senzu Bean, and then they would work together. Remember, they are so used to training and fighting, they pretty much fight as one person. So it's 2 Omni Super Saiyans against the Grand Priest. So pretty much the long story short is that the Grand Priest would lose. He would run out of stamina. Having both Goku and Vegeta at full power coming at him, he would sadly lose. He does not have enough power to defeat them. He could continue, but he doesn't want to act out in front of the Omni King, so he would accept his defeat. Omni King was watching. He was so happy. Watching the entire fight. Soon, they would also free Beerus and Whis after explaining. Now, Zeno wouldn't care. He would tell everyone to not be fighting like this again, as it messed with time and reality a lot. They all agree, and I think that Zeno would tell the Grand Priest to leave Goku, Vegeta, and Universe 7 alone, as they proved themselves to have defeated you, and that was his part of the deal. So the Grand Priest lost fair and square, and he'll accept that defeat. Now, Whis and them was obviously back, and the Grand Priest apologized to both of them. Beerus obviously says it's fine because he's terrified. Whis understands. So all that went really well. So now I'm gonna just gloss over the other arcs too, just to explain as well. So after Zeno told everybody, let everybody go, everybody just kind of went their own way. Now, all things will be back to normal now. We will now go into the Broly arc. Now, we all know how this is going to go. Goku or Vegeta can easily solo Broly with 0 issue. Now, they would obviously see him go Legendary Super Saiyan, as Frieza would probably still kill Paragus, so all that would happen the exact same. So they would actually drag the fight out just to see how powerful Broly can get. They were impressed. Broly was extremely strong. He might even be stronger than Beerus, but they don't know his full power. But they agree that him and Beerus are pretty much even. But the only issue is that Broly's so angry that he can't think during a fight. He fights like a beast. So they were impressed. Now, Chi-Lai would still use the Dragon Balls, and she would still wish Broly back to Planet Vampa, but they weren't going to kill him anyway. They see that Broly's a good guy, just he's been taught the wrong way, and his father was kind of messing with him. Now, would they kill Frieza? I think that I have a feeling that Vegeta would probably kill Frieza, but I'm just going to say no, because I feel like Frieza's so weak compared to Vegeta and them, that Vegeta would just let him go, because he doesn't even care. Remember, they've been locked in there for so long. I feel like after Goku would talk to him, Vegeta would kill his inner demons, and he would just tell Frieza just to screw off, because he sees Frieza as like scum of the universe. He's not the strongest. Now, Frieza has been training a lot harder now. Remember, within 3 months, Frieza was able, now this is like horrible like power scaling, but like within like 3 months, Frieza was able to go from weaker than he was before on Namek to fighting a Super Saiyan Blue. But Frieza doesn't really have the will to train. That's not how his species works. But I do feel like Frieza would keep his training up. So Frieza is actually way more powerful than he was before. Do I believe that he's near Beerus yet? I don't think so. I think that Beerus probably still could take him. And also, Beerus has not been slacking off either. Beerus has been training extra hard to get stronger. Now also because remember, Goku and Vegeta, they are officially the strongest beings in all 12 universes under Zeno. They beat the Grand Priest fair and square. Now, could they have defeated them by themselves? I think Goku could have, maybe not Vegeta, because Goku has Kaioken times 20, but both of them together, they were able to defeat him fair and square. So they are now motivation for all the other 12 universes to now train harder and to do better. So everybody's training. Universe 6, Hit is even training himself. Kaba and them, Kefla, or Kalen Khalifa, they're all training with Champa and Vados to get stronger. You have Jiren. Jiren's probably the strongest, and the strongest one to even fight. He has been training the hardest. He's ready for his rematch against Goku. He wants the rematch soon. He's been training inside that staff as well for longer now. And Vados has been helping him. Now, Jiren doesn't see that as spite. Jiren just wants to fight the strongest. And Jiren wants to be the strongest. So that's why he's prepared to fight Goku. And Goku's ready for it, you know? Goku's excited. So, that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. So, we also did not gloss over the Moro arc and the Granola arc as well, so I'm gonna just gloss over that real quick. So real quick, the Moro arc, he would have 0 chance, he's dead. I mean, it's just way too strong. I mean, and even if he tried to absorb their energy, they're so powerful that it might even kill him because it's too much energy at once and he'll overload. Remember, even an angel's power overloaded him and he nearly died. So, you know, and they are stronger than all 12 angels. And Mirrors wasn't even fully done yet. He was still in training. So add that in as well. So, the Granola arc. Now, Granola and Gas would wish to be stronger than, to be the strongest mortals. Now, there's the problem. Would they actually be able to become that strong? I would say no. The reason being is because even Goku and Vegeta in the manga, with their power scale and their power currently, Granola and Gas were aged very, very fast. And they only had a little left to live, especially Gas. Gas is pretty much looking like he's about to die in the manga currently. Granola only had like a year or two left to live. So they would pretty much die instantly if the dragon even does it. Now, I think that they're so powerful that the dragon might not even be able to do it, because they're stronger than any god of destruction or angel. So, and either way, I feel like Goku and them with the Kaioken and everything, I think they could probably take them. I honestly think that they probably could. Not to mention too, they can also do fusion, and that's Omni King level, so they would probably defeat them anyway. So the arc would not be as badly defeated as they were from the manga. They would have no chance, even if they were alive. But I think that they would probably die. So now for the Dragon Ball superhero movie, that would happen the exact same. Nothing would change. They would, Goku, Vegeta would probably be training Broly. That is true. I have a heavy feeling that they would be training Broly because they see how powerful he is. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Beerus' planet, all that happens the same. And the same exact thing happens with Piccolo and Gohan. You can pretty much watch the movie. It's the same thing as the What If is going to be when the movie comes out for English. I've already watched it in Japanese, so I've already watched the entire movie. What if Goku and Vegeta was locked inside Whis' staff? Final. Well, this is it, guys. The last part of this What If series. Thank you guys so much for supporting this series. I mean, you guys are the absolute best. Make sure to look out for the movie that I'll put together for this whole series after this part, so you can watch the entire story without having to go through each video. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and please enjoy the What If. It has been 10 years since the events of the Grand Prix attack. All was peaceful, but then the Dragon Balls were suddenly shaking, and they cracked, turning into a dark color as the Shadow Dragons were born. Now, I feel during this time, Goku and them would let the younger generation grow and fight them. So remember, this is 10 years later, so everybody's in their 50s at this point. Vegeta's probably near his 60s at this point. So I feel like they will definitely let them want to grow and fight on their own and learn how to take care of themselves, because remember, Goku and Vegeta might be the most powerful beings in the ever, but they're not, you know, immortal. You know, like they can die, you know, like they die like a natural Saiyan ages. So that's why they want to be ready for when they step down. They can pass the torch to the next generation. They can take care of any threat that comes along their way. So at this point, I would say that Pan is around 13 years old, as this takes place 10 years after the Dragon Ball superhero movie. And during that movie, Pan was stated to be 3 years old, so
you know, 10 plus years to 13. Now, Goten and Trunks are easily 20 plus years old. They're probably almost nearly 25 now from a superhero movie. They are extremely strong. All three of them are extremely powerful. They can only Goten and Trunks can use God Ki currently. Pan is too young, but Pan can use Super Saiyan 2 pretty comfortably. So she has one of the highest potentials, you know, because she's Gohan's daughter. But right now she's still in the child phase, if you know what I mean, because Gohan wants her to enjoy life and not just be training. But that doesn't mean that they've been lacking their training. Also, Gohan as well has been keeping his training up. He hasn't been slacking and getting rusty. Now, if any of y'all remember from the movie, Gohan even said that even with light training, he will not become rusty. That shows show you how broken his potential is. Gohan can do simple training, light training, continue his life, and he'll stay at the same power. If he obviously doesn't train, his power level drops a lot. So that's what he's pretty much been doing. He's been training with Pan. So Gohan is obviously way more powerful. He's been training a lot more over the past 10 years. So he is stronger than his superhero movie self. So he is pretty strong. Not to mention too, Piccolo's also a lot stronger. He's especially been training with Gohan a lot more. So he is a lot more powerful. So the Shadow Dragons have been out now. Now Goten and Trunks, they have God Ki at this point as they've been training with Whis. Now both of them can use Super Saiyan Blue. They have very high potential. I think they can do it, especially after 10 plus years. So Goku was nowhere to be found. He was actually secretly training with Oob because of his amazing potential. So the same thing would happen in the beginning of Dragon Ball GT for when Goku met Oob and they had a little fight. The exact same thing would happen, and pretty much they would fight. Goku would want to train him, so Goku would disappear for a lot of years to go train with Oob. So that pretty much happened. He met Oob and they had a real fight, and he loved Oob's potential, so he's gonna train Oob to be the next protector of Earth. So that's the reason why. So now, yes, by the way, this Oob has fused with Majin Buu during these 10 years. As to the reason why is because Fat Buu is still alive. He would still come there and find them, and they were doing normal training and stuff like that. Fat Buu would appear one day and explain to them that it's time for him and Oob to become one. And that was a few years ago. So now Oob is technically even stronger now because he fused with Fat Buu. So they're one being now. Now, Vegeta, who is obviously doing his typical training regime, he was just training off and on in the gravity room, which gravity room doesn't even affect him that much anymore. But he obviously trains with newer, higher gravities, and just to keep himself not rusty and keep himself strong. You know, he's taken more of a more relaxed life a little bit after these past 10 years, like especially with Bra as well. Now, by the way, yes, Bra is born, all that happens the same. Bra is obviously, she's more of a scientist kind of thing along with her mom, but that does not mean that she's still a fighter. She can still hold her own because Vegeta has been training her. She can turn Super Saiyan and she is very strong. Not as strong as Pan, because Pan, all Pan does is just training. That's all that Pan's doing. Now for her, she's doing both. So she's very intelligent, like her mom, but she has obviously the Vegeta's bloodline obviously inside of her, and she's, you know, she's always ready to fight. So her and Pan are obviously extremely good friends. Vegeta spoils her as usual. The same, Bulma's the exact same. She probably looks the same too, considering how many times she uses the Dragon Balls to wish for a bigger backside, and also wishes to look 5 years younger, as y'all know that. Now, on the back to the what if though, so the Dragon Balls have not cracked and the Shadow Dragons are released. Now Vegeta was doing his training regime, the typical, and he would then sense the dragons, like he would sense all these high power levels. He wouldn't be too worried about it. I mean, he can go end them with one shot if he really wanted to, but their power is fodder to him. I mean, it's absolutely nothing. Remember, Vegeta's still just as strong as he was. He's even slightly stronger because he's been, you know, he still has been training the past 10 years. So he thinks that it's not even worth his time, but he's obviously going to go to make sure nothing bad happens to the planet. And he also wants the kids to have fun and to let them actually fight these shadow dragons to learn how to take care of themselves and learn to protect the planet. So now, they would obviously go through and take care of each of the dragons, especially Goten and Trunks. Pan would also get her fight as well. She would probably defeat a Shadow Dragon or two. Goten and Trunks would fight Nova Shenron and Ice Shenron, all those other Shenrons too. all up until Sin Shenron shows up, and they have all the other Dragon Balls. They find that Sin Shenron's the last one. Remember, they are tired after fighting all the dragons. Sin Shenron would suddenly eat the Dragon Balls, and he would then become Omega Shenron. Now his power level spiked up considerably, and he's a lot more higher. Pan was being overwhelmed by Omega Shenron, even if she wasn't Super Saiyan 2. Goten and Trunks, though they're very powerful, they could have taken them on. They were tired from their fighting. Remember, they've been fighting all the other Shadow Dragons too. The others were watching from afar, such as Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, the rest of the Z fighters, as Vegeta said to not interfere and let the kids learn to fight their own battles, much to Gohan and Piccolo's hating. Goten and Trunks had their trump card, so they would tell Pan to set out for this and let them handle it, as this person will handle the issue. They use their trump card and they both nod to each other as they do the fusion dance and they become Gotens. And then they turn Super Saiyan Blue. Now, they would kill Omega Shenron. He wouldn't have much of a chance. Now, I know that saga seemed really fast and it sounds like it's rushed, but I mean, it's just to show that the kids are starting to learn and grow on their own. Now, back to the what if though. Now, Beerus would soon arrive after everything was already over and there was a little bit of peace for the past couple weeks. Beerus would arrive for his own little snack that Bulma would set up for him, you know, because even though Beerus can't not be touched by Vegeta, he still is a god of destruction, and he's no joke. Now, Beerus has even offered his god of destruction role to Vegeta. Yeah, Beerus even offered it. Well, I wouldn't say Beerus, mainly Whis would, but Vegeta wouldn't accept it because he does not see himself as a destroyer. He loves his family too much, and also he doesn't see like the God of Destruction role as a worthy role for him. I mean, he can take on all 12 God of Destructions without any issue at all. So what's the point of taking that role? You know, like that's just not for him. You know, like he could technically become like the next Grand Priest if he really wanted to. So I mean, in reality, he could. So, but obviously he doesn't want to. He wants to stay on Earth and do his own thing. So Beerus would then explain to him that Zeno came to him and told him that he wanted to talk to Goku. Vegeta said Goku's not here. So Beerus said, then I'll just send the message to you. Zeno wants another tournament of power. Since Goku later, all these years ago, asked for another one, this time there are no fighting rules. Only when you fall off the ring you lose, or you're knocked out. It's very similar to the Universe 7 and Universe 6 arc, but you can use weapons, you can use healing items, whatever you can do to win. Now, everybody would quickly gather their team. As Beerus said, it is happening soon. The Grand Priest would arrive and he would explain that it is going to be happening in the next hour. So that's not a lot of time, but luckily they have a whole team. Now they would have Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, Pan, Tien, Krillin, and Broly. Yes, Broly would be on the planet as well. I do feel like Broly would soon migrate over to Earth, in my opinion. Even though he sees Vampa as his home, I feel like Chilai would make him because Earth is so much better than the stinky, disgusting, hot planet for Vampa. And it's also better food-wise. So Broly, I think, would agree. And I think that Broly would, in turn, really like it. I also feel like Broly would also have a really good connection with Pan, just because they both can relate, since Pan is a hothead and she gets mad all the time. So I do feel like Broly would connect with her, and Broly would be a really good teacher. Remember, this is 10 years later. Broly is actually controlled. He can control his power. He can control his legendary forms. He's serious, but he's a peaceful, gentle giant, pretty much. And yes, Broly is extremely powerful. Yes, extremely powerful. He's been training with Vegeta. He's been training with everybody else. He is a monster. So, and yes, also too, for a lot of people in the comments who told me about how I saw one comment that said that Beerus just feels so weak now. Beerus has been training a lot recently, and while he is way stronger, I would even say that he's probably the strongest god of destruction. He probably is now, since he's been taking it seriously. The other gods just don't care. I do feel like Beerus I don't think that Beerus would just have the potential to be able to catch up to Goku and Vegeta like that. I think that he would probably just leave himself out of it, just as long as they're not meddling in his stuff. I mean, what can he really do in reality, you know? But he is way more powerful. He has learned to master the Ultra Instinct technique faster than the other gods, because Beerus already did demonstrate a kind of a fake version of it when he fought against all of them at the same time. But obviously it wasn't complete yet. He wasn't finished. So that happened. So now, in terms of they're missing two people, Where is Goku and Oob? Now, Beerus would demand Whis to find them, as they would sooner or later they would find them where they were. Now, the only reason why they would find him is because Whis would give out a power signal to Goku. Whis is the strongest, well, one of the strongest, technically like the third strongest being in Universe 7. Whis has been training as well to get a little bit stronger. But anyway, Whis actually did a power pulse to Goku, and Goku sensed it, so Goku teleported to it with Oob, so he can get the message. Everybody was obviously really happy to see the two, and Goku was up to date on everything, and he was beyond excited, mainly for Jiren, as Jiren did say he was going to keep his promise, and he would train every day till they meet again. Now, after an hour or so passes, they got their whole team ready. They would all go to a massive ring, as Whis would teleport them there, and it's all the fighters from the 12 universes meet up. But this time, it will either, and this is dependent on Zeno, it'll either be 1v1 matches of the strongest fighters they have, or it can be 2v2 or 3v3s to speed things up, as this will be a long match. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say every single match that happened. I'm just going to do some of the highlights. So Krillin and Tien would be fighting a few fighters from the 5th universe, and they would do really well. Remember, they've still been keeping their training up, especially Tien, and they work really well together, all up until Universe 11 would knock them out. Sooner or later, either it would be Dispo or somebody else. Now, Pan and the others would do great as well, as let's get to the big fights. Now, this is when you're going to have Broly versus Jiren. Broly would fight in base form, testing Jiren. Jiren wasn't impressed at all. He would be blocking his attacks just with his hands, as Broly would turn into his legendary Super Saiyan form. This is when Jiren gets a little bit interested, as he would knock Jiren back, landing a few blows, as Broly would shoot a massive ki blast from his mouth, hitting Jiren full force. As Broly would stand there, Jiren would appear in front of him, as he would hit him with the ki blast, nearly knocking him out of the ring, but he caught himself. But now remember too, Jiren here is not really going all out. Broly it is, but no, he's not. Now Goku would yell at Broly, telling him he needs to cut loose and show his true power. Now Broly would push his legendary Super Saiyan to the highest, as he would mix it with God Ki, as this is pretty much a godly legendary Super Saiyan with God Ki, so it's way more it's a whole nother ceiling of power. Now this got Jiren's attention. As Broly would charge in, he would force Jiren to use Ultra Instinct. Now that's really high respect. Remember, Jiren's been training non-stop in the Angel Room and in more to defeat Goku. He's not forgotten what Goku did to him, and he's going to keep going for it. So Jiren would use Ultra Instinct, and he would catch his attacks. He would soon defeat Broly, but he commends Broly, and he earned his respect as a warrior. Broly's one of the strongest beings he's ever fought. But then Vegeta would go next. As he would smirk, he was obviously excited to fight Universe 6. Now, Hit lost. Hit is a lot more powerful, but I mean, his time skip does not do anything to Vegeta. Vegeta already knows about it. Hit even tried his deadly techniques. It wasn't enough. But it was a pretty solid battle, though. You know, like, I'm not going to say that Hit's so weak. Now, next was Kale and Caulifla. Now, they would use the earrings infused into Kefla and use Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah, they have Super Saiyan Blue. Or you can say Legendary Super Saiyan Blue, or Legendary Super Saiyan 2, whatever you want to call the form. Vegeta would smirk and he would comment them on their growth, but they need to learn still, because they're just little brats to him. As he would burst into Super Saiyan God, and he would handle them without a ginormous issue, as he knows how much their potential is. He knows to take them out. Then there was Kaba. This is one that Vegeta's been waiting for. Now, Kaba would show off a power he has been perfecting just to impress his master, as to give him a real fight. Kaba, in my opinion, I think that he has the most potential, but they always look down on him in the show. So in this What If, he is more mature looking, grown up. He's been training with the room staff for years with Vados. So he would calm his nature, he would relax, and then he would turn into Mastered Ultra Instinct. It would be shocking Champa, as he didn't know that Kaba learned this technique. Vado said they did a lot of training in the room of the staff for years, and made him for him the perfect power, as Kaba was a strong, rightful spirit. Vegeta was really impressed Kaba got all this strong by himself, and the fight would begin. Vegeta would use Master Ultra Instinct himself, and Kaba would give it his all, as he would even land a blow on Vegeta, and soon he would be knocked out, as Vegeta commends Kaba on his progress, and to never forget a Saiyan has no limits, and to keep growing because they will fight again one day, and he wants to actually use his full power against Kaba. Kaba agrees. Now, after all the other fights would go down between all the other universes, the last three main fighters was Jiren, Goku, and Vegeta. Now, Vegeta would go in first against Jiren, as he's been wanting to fight Jiren, as he never got a real chance to fight him one-on-one before. Vegeta would waste zero time, and he would use his Omni form, smirking as this will be a piece of cake as he thinks. Jiren would use his new power. His aura was red like Master Ultra Instinct. It was his own perfected power. Now I'm just going to call this absolute power, or you can call this absolute, whatever you want to call it. And he mastered it. So he mastered all of the power that he's ever learned into his own perfected form. This power was absolutely fodder to Master Ultra Instinct and Hakai Energy, even if they were mixed together. And remember, that was his previous form that he used. Now, Vegeta would fight him. Jiren was actually holding his own against Vegeta, landing blows back and forth, but Goku notices something. Vegeta begins losing suddenly, as Jiren kept getting stronger as the fight goes on, before soon, Omni Super Saiyan Vegeta would then land a punch. It would absolutely do nothing, as Jiren's aura was glowing whitish red. So Jiren was struggling to hold in this power of what it seems like. He would clasp his hands together and yell, firing all of Vegeta's power back to himself, blowing him out of the ring. Vegeta lost. Vegeta lost. I'm waiting for the comments. Vegeta lost. Now, Vegeta was not severely damaged, but he was scratched up. It just shocked him, as all of his power just got sent back onto him. So Vegeta was just stunned, standing there, or laying on the ground. He lost. He legit lost. After so long, he forgot what losing felt like. It infuriated him, but he kind of enjoyed it, because now he knows that he needs to continue training now, you know? Remember, this Vegeta's more mature, and he's not as arrogant and jerkish, but he still has the pride which pushes him forward. So, Goku would then go on the ring after Jiren was healed. Now, he would like to know... Now, Goku asked him, what was this? Now, Jiren would smirk as he states that it's a special move he learned, as he absorbs the power of divine beings and he uses it against them. As Beerus was surprised that that skill was even possible, Goku turns into his Omni form, and he was beating down on Jiren as he jumped away. He felt that his power suddenly was just sapped away a little bit, as he gets it now. Jiren's new skill was like a sponge. Any key attacks or his own attacks, Jiren can absorb it as he thinks about what to do to beat it. As Goku was battle damaged, Jiren said he has waited for this day to defeat him, and he will get his wish soon enough to be the strongest being ever. Now, Goku would get up chuckling a little, saying, Jiren, you truly are amazing, but I'm far from finished. I figured out your power now. As Goku would burst into Omni Super Saiyan again, Jiren said if he is that foolish to try it again twice. Now Goku would laugh, saying he found something out. As he attacked Jiren, as Jiren used his power as a key attack, Goku would smirk and hold his hands out. He would actually absorb his energy back into himself. So, Goku was back at full power again, as it was shocking Jiren. He demands how he did that. Goku smiled, saying that this power in this form is the pinnacle of Saiyan power. He can do things that he never thought he could before, and training for this power for so long, it helped him with that. Goku even states that even after seeing techniques, he can even learn the same thing, as that is Goku's forte. Goku's such a genius in battle that he can figure out the person's moves, and he could even copy them sometimes. But this is something else. This is his Omni form actually absorbing his same power back into him, which is kind of like the deflection of Jiren's own attack trying to get him. So Goku would smile, and he would tell him, saying that now he can never do things that he never thought he could before. So Vegeta was mad as he didn't know that they could absorb energy like that. Now Goku would show Jiren his true maximum power and end it all, as Jiren was use his full power in an all-out final beam struggle. Goku fires his ultimate Kamehameha as they were struggling back and forth, as Goku would scream for Kaioken times 20. As Jiren was pushed back, he would scream and use every ounce of his power, saying that he will not lose as he did before. Now, Goku would then start to lose ground again. His stamina was starting to get dropped, as remember, the Kaioken still does drain his energy a lot, and also after fighting Jiren, he's obviously tired. So he would then have no choice. As Goku would start to lose again, his friends would yell for Goku to not give up and to keep pushing. Goku begins charging up the Kaioken past his true limits, not caring if he died or not, he must win. Now Jiren was shocked as the entire arena and the entire air was now red, very similar to when Goku turned Kaioken times 10 against Hit. And the Grand Priest tried with every ounce of power he can to block all the attacks, as Zeno was obviously flipping out, obviously super excited. Goku would yell to Jiren, saying, "All alone, you're all alone, and you strive for your power, for you gain." As for Goku, he only wants to get stronger and be the best he can be, and his motivation is his friends and family. As he streams, yelling Kaioken times 100, it overlaps Jiren's attack and hits them both full force, as the attack was so powerful that it actually blew up like a bomb, blowing them both up. Now, it would blow everybody back. Angels, Grand Priests, Zeno's guards. Zeno had to use his power to protect everybody, and everything cleared. Goku and Jiren was on the ground, both beaten and super badly injured and bleeding. As they begin to count down, as Goku begins standing up, same with Jiren, as it was a battle of pure will and determination. As Jiren would fall over, Goku would stand barely, as he won. Everyone cheered, helping Goku. The Grand Priest would sweat. That was way too close. As he sighed relief, Goku got a senzu bean as he got up and gave one to Jiren as he was healed. Goku would honestly shake his hand, saying that this was one of the greatest fights he's ever had, and they need to do it again. As Beerus would obviously tackle him, saying, "No way, you nearly killed us all, you idiot." Goku would laugh, as Zeno would thank them all for the amazing battle, as life would then return to normal. Now for them, Goku would be spending his time with Chi-Chi, doing his own training. Now, Vegeta would obviously be doing his hard training to figure out more about the Omni form, as he didn't know that Goku learned that. Now, Vegeta would arrive, and both would smirk at one another as they would fly off and land on the same spot where it all started, on the rocky wasteland, as they smirk and get into their original stances and charge in for the match to choose who is truly the strongest.